Welcome to our excursion with the Regionalexpress, a collaboration between landscape, imaginary characters and machines. We use human language for this occasion because we want you to understand us. I am the voice of the train. I suppose you think most of the living beings on the train belong to the human species. Allow me to leave you with this misconception. There are more important things to put right first. Although they have not been on the planet for very long, humans, a peculiar offspring of evolution, are endangering their own existence and that of other life forms. We, the non-human entities, have noticed that almost all adult specimens have lost their sense of belonging.
Their feet seem to be on the ground, but not touching it.
What do you mean by that?
As if they couldn't land. We can tell. We're the mountain. We always have our feet on the ground.
Maybe they don't want to land. They are afraid of getting stuck in the mud. They want to swim and fly, far beyond the horizon. They want to feel free, boundless, untouchable. With their imagination, they can go anywhere.
That might be the problem.
Of course, I don't know much about having 2 feet on the ground. I'm a mermaid.
Well, and I have no imagination. Not that I miss it. Imagination is a dangerous vehicle. If you don't know how to drive it, you end up in places you really don't want to be.
How can you hear the voice of a mermaid if you don't have imagination?
Let's stay on track and move forward, shall we? We all agree that humanity's detachment and alienation is an alarming development for the well-being of the planet. In fact, I dare say that most people agree with this statement and yet struggle to adapt. Our train journey is a mobile learning, or rather unlearning experience for humans, and takes place specifically in the Salzkammergut region, where beauty transcends the imagination and inescapably invades every cell of the body.
Is there still a way back from the edge of the abyss?
We will find out.
From the unseen knowledge of the witnessing presence of non-human life forms and machines,
with the appreciation of the achievements and the creativity of humans so far,
we'd like to explore whether there is a chance to alter destructive human realities
and restore their lost connections to life on the planet.
Thanks for offering yourself as a test subject. We appreciate your courage to participate. Excursion number 1 between Gmunden and Ebensee, revisiting your relationship with landscape and nature. Settle in. Look through my windows. What do you see? Look for the landscape elements untouched by human hands. Allow the trees, rocks, mountains, and the lake to observe you.
How does our gaze make you feel?
Small? Don't worry. I am holding you.
Take a deep breath. As we go underwater, after all, it all started in the sea, right?
Jedes Salz kommt aus dem Meer.
All salt originates from the sea. This was always like that. Our salt is 250 million years old.
We were all under salt water. There were no humans yet, nor machines.
Not as we know it now. Everything unfolded naturally in those times. We were not yet needed. But our core elements, the minerals, were already there. Everywhere.
Wasn't life boring?
Boredom is a man-made phenomenon.
There were giant octopuses, squids, and other sea creatures.
In Urzeiten war das Salzkammergut von
In
einem
primeval times, the Salzkammergut was covered by the sea.
Dadurch,
Then
dass da
basins separated, and when sun and wind evaporated the water, salt basins formed.
haben sich da Salzbecken gebildet.
You can still see the fossils in my sediments.
Do you have fossils of my ancestors?
Fishtails, collarbones, imprints of skin with paws and scales. Come to the shore later and I'll show you what I have.
There was a lot of action back then, but in different dimensions.
The temperature was changing. The surface was changing. Flora and fauna were changing.
Gletscher entstehen durch.
Glaciers form due to climatic changes. As temperatures drop, these ice bodies grow larger. Over the past 600,000 years, there have been 4 major ice ages, with the most recent one occurring 20,000 years ago. During these ice ages, glaciers expanded significantly, reaching areas that are no longer covered in ice today. However, small remnants of glaciers still exist on the mountain.
Nicht mehr sind.
How is it that people know so many things from times when everything was still in liquid mineral form?
They can read the traces of the past.
Die Gletscher sind in der Späteiszeit.
During the last ice age, about 16,000 years ago, the glaciers advanced to the area around Bad Goisern,
Bad Goisern. Das ist der sogenannte Knitschstand.
known as the Gnitschstand. However, they melted relatively quickly. By about 11,000 years ago, the glaciers had retreated to the Dachstein mountain.
The melting of the glacier brought the salt to the surface.
Das Salz ist am Grund.
The salt remained at the bottom of the basin. During the formation of the mountains, when everything was pushed together, the salt mixed with the rock. And that is the reason why we extract this brine today. We do not have a big chamber of pure salt. Instead, the salt is mixed with the rock.
Sondern bei uns ist das Salz mit dem Gestein vermengt.
The salt is stored in your body.
The salt is also in their bodies.
The mountain is in their bodies.
The sea is in our bodies.
The human body contains many salts, the most important of which is sodium chloride, common table salt that makes up about 0.4% of body weight at a concentration equal to that in seawater. Salt is a vital part of body chemistry and plays a key role in many functions, from the quality of blood to the transmission of nerve signals.
We are in them and they are in us. They seem to have forgotten that.
They may have forgotten, but that doesn't mean they have lost it.
Berge haben mich mein ganzes Leben begleitet.
Mountains have always been a part of my life. I grew up at the foot of the western wall of the Traunstein. We were raised with and on the mountain, and always respected it. People living in mountain regions have a special understanding of life, and so do the people of the
Und
Salzkammergut.
da gehören wir im Salzkammergut auch dazu.
Ich hatte als junge
As a boy, and I remember that quite fondly, I had a paddle boat. I would often go around the lake in it. We know how the lake smells depending on the weather. Today I live like 50 meters from the lake, and we know the lake in many colors. One knows after it has rained for a long time, the lake is murky because the river Traun brings the water. We have a special expression, Seeheld,
Seeheld. Seelen heißt man.
Seehellen, which means you can smell the lake.
This profound connection with nature is particularly strong in enclosed mountain regions.
Gebirgsregionen.
Für mich ist die Begegnung mit dem Berg.
I have this experience of encountering the mountain when I go into the mountain. I love to do that because I get so close to the element. It is like when you are by the sea on the beach and the waves come towards you. You feel so close to the water. This is how close I feel to the earth inside a mountain.
Der Erde.
Es gibt Leute, die von diesem Leben nicht weg.
There are those who do not want to leave this kind of life. Many flee from it. Others consciously stay because this is the life they long for. It's a connection likely rooted in our history of depending on nature for survival. It is still in our genes. I'm sure there's some kind of scientific explanation, but I prefer to trust what I feel.
Ich verlasse mich dann eher aufs Gefühl.
Can you sense the mountain in you?
Can you taste the sea in your tears, in your sweat?
What is your natural habitat?
You climb up the mountains, you stay there and look at the landscape. Wow, this is the paradise. Really, without mincing words. I've gone to some of the mountains here, you know. You climb on the peak, you know, you see the landscape. Wow, it's beautiful.
Ich bin vorige Woche auf den Traunstein gegangen.
Last week, I went up Traunstein. It was a warm day. There was a large herd of mountain goats, chamois. Some were basking on the rocks, soaking in the warmth of the sun. One of them lay on the southwest ridge, which is very steep. The chamois was just lying there, right on the edge, for a whole hour, gazing across the landscape towards Traunkirchen. It struck me how it seemed to actually enjoy the view. This mountain goat.
Eine Ebensee.
Are humans animals or a mix and match like me?
They're animals, but they don't like to think of themselves that way.
They also don't like to associate themselves with machines.
Why?
Humans are more skilled in pointing out differences than finding similarities.
Humans are very vulnerable creatures. It is part of their coping mechanism to pump themselves up with stories of control and makeability. They think they have the power to bend nature to their will. The funny thing is that people are the only ones who care about their all-important status. They have always needed help from animals and later machines.
Do they at least like animals?
Well, we have fox, badger, marten, everything you can imagine is there. Buzzards, hawks and falcons, and for sure sparrowhawks and goshawks are also there. The green woodpecker is very important to us. Actually, all the woodpeckers are important. There's the great spotted woodpecker, the black woodpecker, the three-toed woodpecker. The green woodpecker has green feathers with a typical red cap on its head. When I hear a woodpecker in the forest, I am alert right away. Okay, where is he now? Do I need to take action? Is the bark beetle in the trees again? Do I have to do something about it?
It must be lovely to walk in a forest.
And we make sure that we have locations with lots of blackberries.
We are slowly arriving at Ebensee Landungsplatz. Turn your attention back to yourself. You can even close your eyes if you like. How did our first excursion make you feel? Did you see, hear, or think of anything that moved you? Make a memory of that moment. Visualize the colors, hear the sounds, add scents. Imagine touching the surface. Hold on to this memory and take it with you. If you have to get off at Ebensee, goodbye, and I wish you a safe continuation of your journey. If you stay with us, take a short break.